It's good to be here, and I don't have a lot of time, and so I want to get right to the point. Today I want to talk to you a little bit about the power of a seed. If you look around the room right now, everything you see started off as a thought in someone's mind, whether it's the light, the chair that you're sitting on, the table, the fork that you use. Everything that we see today, everything that we use, whether it be an iPhone or a mop or a broom, it all started off as a seed. And we may never know who the first person was that thought of a chair or a shovel or whatever, but they didn't just leave it as a seed. That seed grew into an idea, and ideas are what really caused the world to go around. If you live life at all, I know you're teenagers and you've experienced a lot of things, but the older you get, you'll realize that there are three kinds of people that you're going to run into. The first type of person that you'll run into is a survivor. Everybody say survivor. And people brag about being survivors, and there is a certain degree of truth to that you're a survivor and you've been through a lot and you're still here. But survivors typically are people that just live day to day. They have no vision. They don't plan for the future. They have no dreams, no desires. A lot of survivors have a get-over mentality, and it's all about right now for them. And you'll experience them in life if you have not already. Some people brag about being a survivor, but I believe that is a low level of existence today in society. The second type of person that you'll run into is a person that succeeds, a person that's successful. These are the success stories, people that beat the odds. They come from bad neighborhoods or bad upbringings, or they don't have all the opportunities that other people have, and they pull themselves up by their bootstraps, and they come from ground zero and they make it. They build their own business, or they become a professional, or they become a doctor or an attorney or something like that. They overcome the odds. They have a dream, they go for it, and they obtain that dream, and they're able to say, this is where I've come from, and this is what I've achieved, and this is what I've accomplished. And most people think that being successful is the end. But successful people, a lot of times, their success benefits them, but very few other people. I don't know Michael Jordan personally. I don't know Tiger Woods personally, so I can't speak about my own personal experience with them. But one of the knocks on those two gentlemen are that they've gotten to a certain degree of success, but their success hasn't really impacted their community, hasn't impacted those that are around them. So the first type of people we talked about are survivors, those that get over mentality, live day to day, no vision, no dream. The second type of people you'll run into are those that are successful people, those that actually have a dream and accomplish it, but their success does not extend out and does not help other people. It's more toward them and a very select few group of people that benefit from their success. So unlike a lot of people, I don't think success is the ultimate goal. I believe that the ultimate goal is significance. Everybody say significance. So you can either be a survivor, you can be a person that's successful, or you can be a person that is significant. People that are significant, they have a deep impact on others. People that are significant, their significance is felt long after they are gone, long after they are dead. Their significance goes on and on and on. It reaches into the future. People still talk about significant people years after they've died and years after they have gone on. Edwin Lewis Cole said, true greatness is not measured by what you do, but by what you inspire others to do. And I want to echo that this afternoon. True greatness is not necessarily measured by what you do, but by what you inspire others to do. I think of people like Magic Johnson, who was one of the greatest basketball players to ever play the game. He revolutionized the point guard position at 6'9" tall. They tried to make him something else. He said, no, I want to play the one, and he did it. He made millions of dollars playing for the Los Angeles Lakers, but now he makes more money through the Magic Johnson Foundation and all of his business endeavors and his entrepreneurial spirit that he learned from the owner of the LA Lakers, Jerry Buss, who just recently died. He's making more money now and helping more people now than he did when he dribbled the basketball and won those 5 championships with the LA Lakers. So if you're looking for someone to emulate and looking for someone to model yourself after, I would look to someone like Magic Johnson, who wasn't just a survivor. He did that, and he took the next step and became successful, and he took the next step after that, and he became significant. So I want to leave you today with the fact that you need to be survivor, even though your attitude, even though your environment, even though your opportunities may not be, you can be a survivor. But you can move to the next level, and you can become successful. But ultimately, if our communities are going to change, if our neighborhoods are going to change, and if we're going to make a brighter future for our children and generations to come, we're going to have an attitude of significance. Everybody say, I will have an attitude of significance. When I think about significant people, I think about Muhammad Ali, who at the height of his career in boxing took a stand and said, I do not agree with this war, and I will not go and fight this war. They stripped him of all his belts and sent him to jail. I wonder how many professional boxers, how many professional athletes, how many actors, how many rappers would take a stand like that today. Not many, I would say, because they're so busy trying to get theirs. They're successful, but they're not significant. We need the people that are going to be significant. And as you sit here today at this conference, we want you to think of, yes, I'm a survivor. Yes, I've come through a lot of different things. And I'm going to be successful. But when it's all said and done, your greatness will not be measured by what you do, but your greatness will be measured by what you inspire others to do. You know, it's interesting, and my title today is The Power of the Seed. And I want to go over a few characteristics of a seed, because a seed is seems very insignificant, but it has great potential. Significance begins with a dream, and a dream begins with a seed. So let's talk just a little bit about the power of a seed. A towering oak tree was created by a tiny acorn. You can see the power of a seed. A single tomato plant can produce millions of tons its weight in other tomatoes and other tomato plants by one tomato seed. So today, this afternoon, let's look at the power of the seed. Number one, all the potential of the seed is on the inside. It's where? Where's all the potential of a seed? The bark, the branches, the roots, the leaves, the sap, even other fruit. If it's an apple seed, all of those things, bark, branch, roots, sap, leaves, all of that is on the inside. Where's the potential of a seed? It's on the inside. You can't look at a seed and tell what it's going to be. If I didn't tell you this is an apple seed, you wouldn't know what it's going to be. It looks so insignificant. And all the potential of a seed is where? It's all on the inside. In other words, my mother used to tell me, you can't judge a book by its cover. It's not just books that you can't judge by a cover. It's people that you cannot judge by its cover. So today, I want to encourage you, do not let people size you up by what they see on the inside, on the outside. You're with me, though. You're with me. I made that mistake on purpose because I wanted to make sure you was following along. I did that on purpose. So all the potential of a seed is on the inside. So just like I can't look at a seed and tell what it's going to be, I can't look at you and tell what you're going to be. Don't let anybody look at you from the outside and say, oh, you're a female, this is what you can do. Oh, you're an African-American male, you'll end up as a statistic. Oh, you're a minority, you're limited to these things. No, don't let anybody look at you from the outside and size you up, because all of your potential is where? Everybody say, all my potential is on the inside. Everything you need is on the inside. So that's the number one thing I want you to understand about a seed. The second thing I want you to understand about a seed is that a seed will only flourish when it's placed in the right environment. A seed will only flourish if it's placed in the right environment. If I take a seed and throw it on this carpet, what's going to happen? If I take that same seed off the carpet and take it outside and put it in some soil, what's going to happen? It's going to grow. A seed will only flourish when placed in the right environment. It will only flourish when it has the right surroundings. I like to say it like this: show me your friends and I'll show you your future. People don't get in trouble by themselves. They need help. People don't get out of trouble by themselves. They need help. If you are a seed, and you will only flourish when placed in the right environment. Show me your friends, and I'll show you your future. When we talk about the right environment includes light. A seed needs light to grow. Light represents wisdom and insight and a good dose of common sense. If a seed is going to grow, it needs light. If you're going to grow, you're going to need light. You're going to need wisdom. You're going to need common sense. You're going to need education. You're going to need to know what you're talking about. That's why it's important that you get it done in the classroom. Everybody say, I will. Get it done in a classroom. I had a chance. I'm the actual chaplain for the Cal State men's basketball team here at Bakersfield. I'm the chaplain for the team. And they like for me to go to the games, obviously. And we went to a game at the end of the season, and there was only 6 people on the team. Not the Cal State Bakersfield men's team. The team they were playing, there were only 6 players on the team. And so everybody was like, okay, where's the rest of the players? They must be in the locker room getting ready to come out. They never came out. So after the game, I had a chance to talk to the coach. And guess what happened to the other players, the other 6 or 8 players they had on the team? They didn't get it done in the classroom. They thought they could, just play basketball and not study, and so they got kicked off the team. So they had to roll with only 6 players, and they ended up getting blown out. We blew this team out by like 40 or 50 points. When you're significant, you understand that other people are depending on you. It's not about being dependent. When I'm dependent, I need you. Well, why don't you do better? Because they won't help me. Won't nobody help me? You can't be dependent on other people. You cannot be independent. I don't need anybody. I can do this myself. I got this. No, not dependent, not independent. The goal is interdependent. That means I'm maximized at 100%. I'm going full throttle, and I hook up with someone else that's maximizing out at 100%. And when we come together, it's not still 100%, it multiplies. It's called interdependence. And when I bring all that I can to the table, I'm not leaving something behind because I know, man, if I bring all my good ideas to the table, somebody might try to steal it. I might try to get, they may not give me credit for my good ideas. When we have that type of mentality, it's all of us that suffers. It's our communities that suffer. It's our neighborhoods that suffer. It's our families that suffer. It's our marriages that suffer. If I go into a marriage thinking, if this don't work, I'm out of here, then I go to another marriage and do the same thing, and our families end up in the situations that they're in now. But if I go into it thinking, look, this is the only shot I'm going to have, and I'm going to do everything I can to make this marriage work. Imagine with me for a minute if you turned 17 and your parents bought you a brand new car, but they told you this is the car that you'd have to drive for the rest of your life. You'd take care of that, wouldn't you? You would take care of it, wouldn't you? You wouldn't say, oh, man, if I, No, you would do everything you could because you knew that was the only shot that you would get. I want you to look at your relationships like that. It's the only shot that you're going to get. All right, so what's the number one thing about a seed? All the seed potential is where? On the inside. Number 2 thing about a seed will only flourish when placed in the right environment. Number 3, a seed will only show life after an undisclosed period of time. Don't you wish you could plant an orange seed today and get an orange tree tomorrow? Wouldn't that be wonderful? But that's not how it works. It takes time. Only after an undisclosed period of time will a seed begin to show life. You cannot plant a seed today and get a crop tomorrow. It's going to take time. Everybody say time. I know you're used to going through the drive-thru and getting your food right now, but guess what? If you want a home-cooked meal, it's going to take time. It's going to take time. If you want to become a doctor or an attorney or an entrepreneur, it's going to take time. You harvest what you plant. You harvest later than you plant, and you harvest more than you plant. Let me say it again. You harvest what you plant. If I plant orange seed, what do I get? If I plant an orange seed, do I get an orange seed back? What do I get? An orange tree, and on that tree are many branches, and on those branches are many oranges, and in those oranges are many seeds, much more than the one seed that I planted. So I don't plant an orange seed and get an orange seed back. I plant an orange seed and get an orange tree. So I plant an orange, I get an orange. I plant an orange seed, I get multiplied seeds. And I get it later than I planted it. So this is how it works. So if you're going to be significant in life, guess what? Whatever you plant, that's what you're going to reap. And it's going to take time, both good and bad. All right, review. All the potential of a seed is where? A seed will only flourish if placed where? And a seed will only produce life after a given period of time. So you got to be patient. If you want, and number 4, this is my last one, I'm going to get out your way. Number 4, we talked about it a little bit. A seed will only produce after its own kind. If you want apples, you got to plant. If you want oranges, you got to plant. If you want people to be patient with you, you got to be patient. It's the golden rule. What is the golden rule? Do unto others before they do unto you. Do unto others worse than they did you. No. The golden rule says, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. You can say it like this: what goes around comes around. You know, I'm a preacher. The Bible says you reap what you say. However you want to say it, there's a boomerang effect in life. And if I want to be treated fairly, I must treat other people fairly. If I want people to give me a second chance, I got to give other people a second chance. If I want people to be patient with me, I must be patient with them. Whatever you want out of life, those are the seeds that you have to sow, because seeds only produce after their own kind. You don't plant love and get hate. You plant love and love gets multiplied back to you. If you want someone to give you a pass when you make a mistake and give you a second chance, that's what you must do as well. Remember, you reap what you sow, you reap more than you sow, and you reap later than you sow. I remember I taught school for many years. I'm still in education. I left the classroom. I taught 4th grade for 10 years, and I'm still in public education. And I used to work in a little town about 30 miles northwest of here called Wasco. And Wasco is the rose, R-O-S-E, capital of the world, rose. And during certain times of the year, they would harvest the roses in Wasco. And I would drive out there, drive 99 and get off, and rose bushes as far as you could see, both sides of the road, roll the window down. I mean, you could just smell roses just over there. And I remember the first time I experienced that, I just started working out Wasco, and that was the first time I experienced that. And I noticed that there were some bushes out there, some rose bushes, and then I saw that the roses started to bloom. And then they were in full bloom, and I noticed that the rose petals were beginning to fall to the ground. And I said, well, that's strange. Seemed like they should be harvesting the roses and shipping them wherever they're going to ship them, to the florist or whatever they do with them after there, and that they were going to sell the roses and make their money. But I noticed they never harvested the roses. All the petals fell off the rose bushes and fell on the ground. So this was really, interesting to me. So one day we were sitting in the cafeteria, and I was like, why aren't they harvesting the roses? And one of the teachers there, he said, they're not after the roses. I said, they're not? He said, no, they're not after the roses. I said, well, what are they after? He said, they're after the rose bushes. I said, really? He said, yeah, they don't sell the roses like that. They sell the rose bushes. So after the rose petals fall off, they harvest the rose bushes, they cut them down, they wrap the little, burlap around the bottom of them with the roots, and then they sell the rose bushes. They sell the rose bushes around the world, and then they plant the rose bushes because rose bushes are very durable. They're very hardy. They can pretty much grow anywhere. And so I realized at that point that was what we call in education a teachable moment. And I think many, many adults come to the realization later on in life that I've been spending my whole life chasing roses who look good on Valentine's Day, but a week later, they're dead and they've fallen apart and all we do is throw them in the trash. And then what do? We buy more roses. And they die and they fall, the leaves fall off, the petals fall off, and we buy more roses, we buy more roses. And there are a lot of adults that spend their life just buying roses, chasing roses, think they could find, peace and happiness and joy in a relationship with a man or a woman. If I can just get married, if I can just have my own business, if I can just get out of this situation. And they realize once they get to the top of the ladder that the ladder of success has been leaning against the wrong wall. And they look around and their wives are gone and their family's gone. And no one lays in a hospital bed wishing they spent more time at work. They don't. So in life, we've got to cultivate the relationships that we have. We've got to help one another. We've got to support one another. We've got to encourage one another. We got to be like that rose bush. And once that rose bush has grown and is sold, it produces roses year after year after year after year after year. So now the owner of that rose bush doesn't have to go outside anywhere. They've produced their own roses and they can share roses. So instead of chasing all these things in life, young people, teenagers, high school students, instead of chasing all these things that are here today, gone tomorrow, that look like they're going to make you happy, that look like they're going to satisfy you, but they don't. And every year you find yourself chasing after that same thing. And then once you get it, you realize it wasn't what you thought it was. So I'd encourage you today, if you understand the power of a seed, take the time to plant the proper seeds. Take the time to glean from the people that have taken away from their families, the chaperones and the faculty members and those that came down here with you. I'm sure they left families behind and came from all over the state of California. Take the time to thank them. Take the time to encourage them. Take the time to listen to what they have to say because they're concerned about your future. They're concerned about your potential. They're concerned about you not just being a survivor and not just you being successful. They're concerned about you being significant. They're concerned about you, and that's why they're here, and that's why I'm here. I would encourage you today to take all the opportunities that you can. Maximize all of your potential. Get in the right environment. Get around the right people. Make tough decisions. Sacrifice today so you can get to where you want to go tomorrow. And when you get to where you want to go and you become significant, make sure you send it back to the next generation so that those that come behind you can stand on your shoulders and they also can be significant and we can leave the world better than what we found it. I have a few things that I brought with me that are in the back there. Some audios. If you like what you heard today, I have some things. I spent many years as a youth pastor and a children's pastor. I probably should have done this before I spoke, but I have a few CDs and things back there. I have some free stuff that I'm giving away. I know that you like free stuff, so if you come back there, we have something free for some of you, not all of you. And then nothing else is back there is $10 or less. You can go on my website. It's www.rbmint.com. That stands for Roland Banks Ministries International. And you can go on there and check out and see some of the different things that we're doing. And then you can also follow me on Twitter at @rbmint. All right? I was going to say, are there any questions? All right, thank you.
Okay, let's give another round of applause for Mr. Knight. On behalf of UBSUC, we would like to present you this award for your extraordinary speaking. Next, we will have Mrs. Marlene C. Hurd to gain